Hello everybody, I'm Abazud and welcome to my course on NIST Risk Management Framework, which is also called NIST RMF. Today we are going to look at the seventh and last steps of implementation of risk management framework, that is monitor, and it has 7 tasks which you can see on your screen. So let's start with the monitor step and its task. So let's start with what is the purpose of step monitor. The purpose of monitor step is to maintain an ongoing situational awareness about the security and privacy posture of the information system and organization in support of information management decision. Now let's look into the first task, which they are talking about system and environmental changes. So here it is talking about monitor the information security and its environment of operations for changing that impact the security and privacy posture of the system and environment of operations are in constant state of change, and which changes occurring in the technology or machine element, human element, physical or environmental element, changes to the technologies or machine element, including for example upgradation of hardware, software, firmware, changes to human element. You can talk about uh, staff turnover, reduction in forces, modification in the physical environment. We can talk about changes in location of the facility or the physical access control protected the facility. Changes made by an external provider can be difficult to detect. A discipline and a structure operate to manage, control, and documented changes to the system and environmental of operation adheres with the terms and condition of authorization, and is an essential element of security and privacy control. Organizations establish configuration and management and control process to configuration mm, support configuration and change management. So this is what we are having, the system environment change. It is like if there is any change, we need to monitor that particular change and how it is impacting our information security and its environment. The next is an ongoing assessment. Assess the control implemented within and inherit by the system in accordance with the continuous monitoring strategy. After the initial system or the common control authorization, the organization assesses all the control on an ongoing basis. Ongoing assessment of an control effectiveness is part of the continuous monitoring activity of the organization. The monitoring frequency for each control is based on the organization continuous monitoring strategy and can be supplemented by the system level continuous monitoring strategy. Adherence to the terms and conditions specified by the authorized official as a part of a authorized decision are also monitored. Ongoing control assessment continues as a information generation as a part of continuous monitoring is correlated, analyzed, reported to the senior leadership. So this is what we are having as a task 2. Let's discuss about the third task, that is the ongoing risk response. Now we have discussed about the ongoing assessment. Now whatever in the assessment, whatever as the risk comes to us, we need to do their response on an ongoing basis. Response to a risk based on the result of an ongoing monitoring activity, risk assessment, and outstanding item in plan of action and milestone. Assessment of the information processes by the assessor during the continuous monitoring is provided to the system owner and the common control provider, and updating assessment report or why reports from automated security and privacy management reporting tool. The authorizing official determine the appropriate risk response to the assessment findings or approve response proposal by the system owner and common control providers. The system owner and common control providers substantially implement the appropriate risk response. With the risk response is acceptance, the finding remain documented in the risk and privacy assessment report and are monitored for changes to risk factors. When the risk response is mitigated, the planned mitigation actions are included and tracked using the plan of action and milestones. If the requested If requested by the authorized officer, control assessor may provide the recommendation for remediation action. Recommendation for remediation action may also provide by an authorization, security and privacy management and reporting tool. An organization assessment of risk and system level risk assessment result guide and inform the decision regarding ongoing risk response. Controls that are modified, enhanced, and added as a part of ongoing risk response are reassessed by assessor to ensure that the new modified or enhanced control has been implemented correctly and operating at as intended and producing the desired result with respect to meeting the security and privacy requirement of a system. So this was a third step, and now we'll look into the fourth step, that is authorization package update plan, assessment report, and plan of action and milestone based on the result of a continuous monitoring progress. To achieve near the real-time risk assessment, the organization updates security and privacy plan, security and privacy assessment report, the plan of action and milestone on an ongoing basis. Updates to the plan reflect modification to control based on risk risk mitigation activity carried out by system owner or common control providers. Update to the common control assessment report reflects additional assessment activities carried out to determine control effectiveness based on implementation detail in the plan of action, and the milestones are updated based on progress made on current outstanding item. Address security and privacy risk discovered as a part of control effectiveness monitoring, and describe how the system owner and common control provider intended to address those risks. The updated information raise awareness of a security and privacy posture of the system and common control inherent by the system. So this what we are having as a task 4. Let's look into the task 5, which talks about the security and privacy reporting. Reporting the security and privacy posture of a system to authorized official and other organization officer on an ongoing basis in accordance with the organization continuous monitoring strategy. The result of monitoring activities are documented and reported to the authorized officer and other selected organization officer on an ongoing basis in accordance with the organization continuous monitoring strategy. Other organization officer who may receive the continuity and security and privacy posture report include, for example, Chief Information Officer at a CIO, Chief Technology Officer, CTO, Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, and the other senior officers. The report provides the authorizing officer and the other organization officer with information regarding the security and privacy posture of system, including the effectiveness of the implementation of control, security and privacy posture discovered, ongoing monitoring activity employed by the system owners or common control provider. Report also include the information about the security and privacy risk in the system environment of operation discovered during the control assessment, auditing, continuous monitoring, how system owners or the common control providers plan to address those risks. This we was having the task 5. Let's look into the task 6, that is ongoing authorization. Review the security and privacy posture of the system on an ongoing basis to determine whether the risk remain acceptable. To employ on an ongoing authorization approach, the organization has to place an organization level and system level continuous monitoring progress to assess implemented control on an ongoing basis. The authorized officer or the designated representative review the security and privacy posture of the system on an ongoing basis to determine the correct risk to the organization operation, asset, individual, other organization. The authorized determines whether the risk is acceptable and provide the appropriate direction to the system or common control provider The authorizing officer may determine that the risk remain at an acceptable level for the continued operation, or at a risk is no longer at an acceptable level for continuous operation, and may issue a denial of authorization to operate, authorization to use common control authorization. The finding and result from the continuous monitoring process provide a useful information to authorizing officers to support nearly real time risk based decision making. This is what we are having as a task 6. Let's look into the 7 tasks, that is system disposal. Implement a system disposal strategy and execute the relative action when system is removed from a operation. This is very important because when we decommission the system, so what we need to do for from the perspective of data which resides into the system, which has the information, what are the top stakeholders, maybe if it is a financial system, what is the profit and loss, what are the different vendors, what is our confidential informations are there. So it's very important we have a strategy for the system disposal. When the system is removed from the operation and several risk management action are required, organization ensure that the control addresses the system disposal are implemented. Example: media sanitization, configuration management and control, component re-authenticity, record retention, system data being removed from the services. Service security and privacy posture report reflect the security and privacy status of the system. Users and application owner hosted on the disposal system are notified as appropriate, and any control inherited relation are reviewed and assessed for impact. The task also applies to the system element that removed from the operation. Organizations removing a system from an operation update the inventory of the information system to reflect the removal, and system owner and system person ensure that disposal system complied with relevant federal law, regulation, directives, policies and standards. So this we are having as a complete 7 tasks which we need to perform and or monitor step. So thank you for joining me.